Good afternoon. Welcome back to zoology second year class. We are in the topic the pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland. Here the first one is called as already we discussed the anterior pituitary. Here. The already we discussed about the anterior pituitary means the where the pituitary is located. One more time, I will explain the starting onwards. The pituitary gland is present behind the hypothalamus. What is the hypothalamus? This is the one part of the brain. Here, the means the diencephalon is having the thalamus, epithalamus, and the hypothalamus. Here, the forebrain. Here, the brain is having the divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. In the forebrain, the last part is called as a diencephalon. Inside of the diencephalon, the which parts are present means the mainly the thalamus is present. The above the inside of the thalamus. Thalamus is present. This thalamus is divided into three types: thalamus, epithalamus, and the hypothalamus. Here, down part is called it as a diencephalon. Down part is called as a hypothalamus. This hypothalamus, the above the hypothalamus, the adrenal gland is present. The pituitary gland is present. So here, the mainly the above the diencephalon, the thalamus, epithalamus, hypothalamus is present. The hypothalamus is having the above the hypothalamus, P-shaped structure is there that we call as a pituitary gland. Here, this pituitary gland already we discussed. This is the master gland. It controls all the endocrine glands. That's why we call as a master gland. Master is saying all the servants are doing like that only. The pituitary gland gives the stimulation that they evoke or that enters to the target gland, and they are functioning. They are functioning. Here that we call as a pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is having the three parts are present. Already I said they are called as a anterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary. The middle one is called as a pars intermedia. Pars intermedia. Next, the third one is called as the posterior pituitary, or also called as a neurohypophysis. Posterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary. See here, observe here. The anterior pituitary is it is also called as the adenohypophysis. It producing the main 6 hormones are produced by this one. What are the 6 hormones? Means the first the growth hormone, are also called as a somatotropin. This one is. Here, it stimulates what is the function of the growth hormone? GH simply we call it as a growth hormone. This growth hormone mainly stimulates the liver cells. Mainly stimulates the liver cells, and how it is means the The liver cells are producing insulin-like growth, not insulin. Insulin-like growth factor is secreted by the liver cells. And what it is, that secretion stimulates the growth of the bone. Yeah, insulin-like growth factor stimulate the growth of the bones and the increase the protein, accelerate the protein synthesis and also cell division. Here, this is about the growth hormone, or also called as a somatotropin hormone. Next one is the prolactin hormone. Here, what are the prolactin hormone? It is also called as a lactogenic hormone, LTH hormone. What is the use of this one? Means they are mainly the enlargement of the mammary glands for the and the milk production purpose. This prolactin, lactin means milk. The prolactin or lactogenic hormones are mainly enlarge the milk mammary glands as well as milk production. And also one more thing, this is maintain the corpus luteum, the ovarian follicles. Inside of the ovary follicles are there. These follicles, the primary, secondary, tertiary follicles are there. And lastly, Graafian follicle. This Graafian follicle is releasing the egg or releasing the ova, that we call ovulation. After the ovulation, for example, this one is a Graafian follicle. Cell mass is present. The inside of that, which one like this, the ova is present. Here, this is the ova. After the releasing of the ova, after the ovulation, the remaining mass is there. That is mass. That mass is formed as a yellow color. That we call as a corpus luteum. The corpus luteum, the maintain the corpus luteum means this corpus luteum is maintained by this prolactin hormone and the sustained pregnancy. In the pregnancy time, every time they are producing that corpus luteum producing the hormone. That hormone is called as a progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone. If the egg is get fertilized, the progesterone hormone is continuously secreting. If the egg is not fertilized, that time they are disintegrate. This corpus luteum is disintegrate and form it as a spar-like structure that we call as a corpus albicans. Here, that is about the prolactin. Next one is called as a TSH, thyroid stimulating. The name only there. They control the thyroid hormone. Clear? That's why we call it as a thyroid stimulating hormone, or also called as a TSH. It stimulates the synthesis and secretion of the thyroid hormones. What are the thyroid hormones? T3 and T4, triiodothyroxine and tetraiodothyroxine. Hormones are secreted by the thyroid gland. That is mainly with the effect of thyroid. For example, the TSH hormone is there. This TSH hormone secreted by the pituitary through the circulation. They enter into the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland gets stimulated, and they are releasing of the thyroid hormones here like this, T3 and T4. This is the function of the thyroid stimulating hormone. Next is the one is the adrenocorticotropic hormone, adrenal gland. Here, the adrenal gland, where it is located? Adrenal gland is located above the kidney. Here, this adrenal gland is divided into two parts. Outer portion is called as a adrenal cortex, and inner is called as a adrenal medulla. Here, see this one. For example, here this one is the kidney. Above the kidney, adrenal gland is present. The adrenal gland outer region is called as the cortex region, and the inner is called as a medulla region. The cortex is mainly they are producing the number of steroid hormones. That steroid hormones are controlled by this one, adrenocorticotropic hormone or ACTH hormone, and it controls the synthesis and the secretion of the steroid hormones from the adrenal cortex. From the adrenal cortex, the steroid hormones releasing is controlled by this adrenocorticotropic hormone. Here, next is called as a follicles. Which one are the follicles? In the males, the follicles are tests are the follicles. Means the tests are producing the sperm. Inside of the test only spermatogenesis is occur. That's why they are called as the follicles. In the females, the ovary. Inside of the ovaries, the gametes, ovas are produced. That's why they are called as the follicles. The both means in the males, the spermatogenesis is occurred by this one only. The ovulation is occurred by this one. Here, see this one, follicle stimulating hormone. It stimulates the growth and development of ovarian follicles. In the females, means ovaries are developed, and in the males, the regulate the spermatogenesis. The spermatogenesis and ovulation, both of them are controlled by follicle stimulating FSH hormone. Here, next sixth one is called as a luteinizing hormone. Here, it stimulates the Leydig cells. Here, before that, the follicle stimulating hormone, they are responsible for the spermatogenesis and the ovulation. But inside of that, hormones are secreted by this luteinizing hormone. Here, what it is? The inside of the male, inside of the seminiferous tubules, the Leydig cells are present. Leydig cells means the seminiferous tubules inside is having the interstitial cells are present between the two seminiferous tubules. The interstitial cells are there. These interstitial cells are having the Leydig cells are there. Where? In the males. In the males, the inside of the tests, the Leydig cells are present. These Leydig cells are producing the androgens. That androgen is called as a testosterone hormone. Here, testosterone. What is the use of this testosterone means hormone means they're helpful for the spermatogenesis as well as it maintains the secondary sexual characters in the male. Here, next, in females stimulates the stimulates the ovulation from the Graafian. Already I said the inside of the ovary, the different developed follicles are there. First follicle, see. What are the follicles means inside of the ovary, the undeveloped means the primary is there, that we call as a primary follicle is present. First primary follicle that is developed as a secondary follicle. Secondary follicle is formed as a tertiary follicle. Lastly, they are formed as a Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle. The develop of the Graafian follicle, they are releasing of the ova that we call as a ovulation. Here, see this one, that only. In females, it stimulates the ovulation from the Graafian follicles, also stimulates the ovary to producing the two hormones. Which hormones? Estrogen hormone as well as progesterone hormone. See this one in the males, which one? Testosterone hormone is releasing with the help of luteinizing hormone. In the females, estrogen and progesterone hormones are secreted by the help of the luteinizing hormone. Here, like this, they are having the mainly these 6 hormones are there. This one is an important question only. The pituitary gland, the adenohypophysis, upper one, adenohypophysis is producing the 6 hormones are there. Shortcut, the growth hormone, GH. You write it like this also, nothing will happen. Growth hormone. Next one is called as a prolactin or leukotropic hormone, LTH. If it is easy, prolactin, you write it. Next is the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Next is the adenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. And also next, follicle stimulating hormone. Next, the luteinizing LH, luteinizing hormone. Here, like this, they are having the 6 hormones are secreted by the adenohypophysis. The upper region of the pituitary is producing these 6 hormones. Next is the neurohypophysis. Pars intermedia and neurohypophysis. Here, the upper is called as we called as a adenohypophysis, that we finish. Next is called as a middle one, first we discuss, that we call as a pars intermedia. Middle lobe we call as a pars intermedia. It's secreting the only one hormone, that is called as a MSH hormone. Here, which one? The pars intermedia, middle one, middle lobe, that is secreting the one hormone that is called as a melanocyte stimulating hormone. Here, they are mainly helpful for It's see, and the role in man not significant, means that's majorly the melanocytes, means the pigment cells. The pigment cells are produced by this one only, but not the significant role is in the inside of the man. Clear? Next one is called as the last lobe, that is called as a posterior pituitary, or also called as a neurohypophysis. Clear? Posterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary is producing the 6 hormones, but the posterior pituitary is producing only two hormones that also they synthesized inside of the hypothalamus. That from the hypothalamus they are enter through the circulation. They are enter into the posterior pituitary, where they are produced means the two hormones. Which one? The vasopressin oxytocin, vasopressin, both of them are actually they synthesized in the hypothalamus. From the hypothalamus, the comes to the directly through the circulation, they enter inside of the posterior pituitary. What is the function of this one? Means they stimulated oxytocin and vasopressin. What about the oxytocin? Means the two hormones that is synthesized in the hypothalamus that enter into the pituitary, posterior pituitary. Next, what is the use of this one? Means oxytocin induce the contraction of the smooth muscles, and produce the contraction and the contraction of the uterus during the childbirth time. They are loosened, means the muscles are get contract, and induce the ejection of the milk of the mammary glands in the delivery time. That is helpful. In the delivery time, for the smooth muscle contraction purpose, this oxytocin is helpful, as well as for the milk after the childbirth milk production purpose also. This oxytocin is mainly helpful. Here, next one is called as the vasopressin, are also called as adenodiuretic hormone, ADH hormone. Another name of the vasopressin is called as antidiuretic hormone. Here it controls the uresis, means the excess of the urination. Reabsorption is by this one only. That's why they are called as antidiuretic hormone. I'll explain the diabetes mellitus insipidus after the explanation of this one. See the vasopressin and are also called as the antidiuretic hormone. What it is means, it controls the reabsorption of water in the DCT and the collecting tubule, prevent the diuresis. Here, the diuresis means excess of the water is the eliminated out. Excess of urination is stopped by this one only. Here, what it is means, what is the function of the vasopressin means, they reabsorb the water from the DCT. Yeah, wait. What is the function of the vasopressin? They reabsorb the water, from nephrons, DCT, and CD or CT, collecting duct, are also called as a collecting tube. Means after the total reabsorption, lastly they enter into the nephron. First one is the PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. After that, Henle's loop is there. Henle's loop is opens into the next DCT. DCT opens into the collecting duct. In these two tubules, lastly, the water is reabsorbed by the effect of vasopressin hormone. That's why that is commonly called as a antidiuretic hormone. Listen, for example, here the vasopressin is not sufficiently they occur. What will happen means the reabsorption is not occur. Means the hyposecretion of the hyposecretion ADH are also called as a, you can say it as a vasopressin. What will happen means the reabsorption is not occur. Means the hyposecretion means less secretion of the ADH causes the absorption, reabsorption. Clear? The reabsorption not occur. Automatically what will happen means they causes the uresis. That's why called as a excess of urination will be occur. Here, what is causes excess of urination is occur. This condition is called as a the diabetes insipidus. That condition is called as a diabetes insipidus. Here, I'm writing here. I'm writing here. See. The diabetes insipidus means the lack of the means the hyposecretion of the ADH is causing the diabetes mellitus. Here, diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus. For 2 marks, this one is important. Diabetes insipidus means hyposecretion of vasopressin hormone. The excess of urination is occur. That we call as a diabetes insipidus. What it is? Hyposecretion of, I wrote there only, the hyposecretion of the ADH that causing the reabsorption is not occur. The excess urination is there. That we call as a diabetes insipidus. Now here I am writing the diabetes mellitus. One more is there. The difference between that VSAQ important is there. That is difference between the distinguish between the diabetes insipidus and the diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus. It is that is hyposecretion of the ADH hormone or also called as vasopressin hormone. But here the hyposecretion are the low secretion of the insulin. Hyposecretion, simply we call it as a hyposecretion of insulin causes diabetes mellitus. What it is occur means hyposecretion of insulin is there means here the glucose is not converted into glycogen. Here glucose is not converted into glycogen. That time what will happen means inside of the blood the glucose level is more. That glucose is eliminated through the urine. The both of them are in this excess of urination is occur. In this also excess of urination is occur. Excess of urination different what it is means this excess of urination. In this excess of urination here the glucose and ketone bodies also present in the urine. Glucose and the ketone bodies, ketones are present inside of the urine. In this the ketones and the glucose is not there. That's the difference between the diabetes mellitus and the diabetes insipidus. Here simply diabetes insipidus is caused by the hyposecretion of ADH hormone or also called as a vasopressin. Diabetes mellitus is caused by the hyposecretion of insulin. Clear? This one is about the this one is important for the VSQ. Next we go to the next SQ. From the endocrine system and the immune system, one SAQ is the compulsory. This one is the important lesson. And next we are going to we take the next answer. Next important answer. That is the explain the hypothyroidism and the hyperthyroidism. Clear? All of you know this one. Thyroid gland is present in the between the pharynx and the larynx. The butterfly shape structure is present that we call it as a thyroid gland. Clear? Thyroid. Here, the thyroid gland is mainly secreting the hormones. They are called as a triiodothyroxine T3 and tetraiodothyroxine T3, T4. The thyroid glands, thyroxine hormone means the combinedly we call it the thyroxine hormone. Thyroid glands are producing this one for the synthesis of the T3 and T4. The iodine is compulsory. Iodine is required. The formation of the thyroid hormones, iodine is required for that. And the inside of this, what is the hypothyroidism and the hyperthyroidism means every time hypo means less secretion of the thyroxine hormone. The combinedly we call it the thyroxine hormone. The thyroxine hormone here hypo secretion of thyroxine causes the, in the name only there, hypothyroidism. Here, the less amount of the thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland. Where the thyroid gland is present between the pharynx and larynx. It is a butterfly shape structure, and they're secreting the two hormones T3 and T4, and the hyposecretion of the thyroxine causes the hypothyroidism. Here, what it is means, it is a condition which the production of the thyroid hormone T3, T4 is decreased. Here, these hormones are decreased, and what are the characteristics means mainly the enlargement of the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland T3, T4 is not secreting properly. Automatically, what will happen means thyroid glands are undergoes the enlargement. That condition is called as a simple goiter. Here, the simple goiter means the swelling is occur in the thyroid glands that we call as a simple goiter. Here, next, the inadequate supplying of the iodine. Already I said the synthesis of the T3, T4 hormones. The iodine is in the salt. Iodine is present now. That iodine is compulsory for the synthesis of the thyroxine hormones like a T3 and T4. Inadequate means less supplying of the iodine or impairment of the two reasons are there. One is the inadequate the iodine intake, or the sometimes what will happen means the impairment of the thyroid glands leads to this condition. Here, two reasons are there for the hypothyroidism. One is the intake salt is less, means intake iodine is less, or the any impairment is there in the thyroid gland that leads to hypothyroidism. Next, the untreated congenital hypothyroidism in pregnant women means that we are not controlled in the pregnant women. What will happen means it leads to the thyroid waft, means the child becomes as a thyroid waft, means the growth is stunted growth is occur in the children. The stunted growth is occur, and the what will mentally retardation is there. Low IQ levels are there, and the abnormal skin, deafness, mutism. Like this, these conditions are occur in the children. Here, the pregnant woman is having the hypothyroidism that continues. What will happen means the children is getting as a thyroid waft. What is the characteristics means the stunted growth is stunted, and the mental retardation is there. Low IQ levels are present, and abnormal skin and deafness and mutism. Like this, these characteristics are there in the children. Next is the hypothyroidism in the present in the children like this. Hypothyroidism in the adults. Here, in the adults results the myxoedema, means the face become as a swelling. That edema means every time the swelling. Myxoedema is characterized by the leathery and the mental impairment. Leathery skin is present, and also mental impairment is there, and also already I said puffiness of the face is there, and the dry skin is there. in the hypothyroidism time. Clear? This one is about the less secretion of the thyroxine hormone that causes the disease that we call as a hypothyroidism. Next, the opposite to the hypothyroidism, next one is called as a hyper. Excess is releasing. Here, excess of the thyroxine hormone is released. What conditions are occur? We are going to discuss. It is a condition which produced of the thyroxine hormones abnormal increase. Abnormally, they are increased automatically. That causes the hyperthyroidism. What happened means overactivity of the thyroid is also due to the cancer of the gland. It is occurred by the sometimes any cancer means cancerous structures are occur. This is caused, and also it is caused by the nodules or development inside of the thyroid gland. The nodule means any cyst-like structures are formed. That is also formed as a excess of secretion of the thyroxine hormone. Here, overactivity of thyroid when it is occur in the cancerous time, or also in the nodules are formed inside of the thyroid time. They are here. The hypothyroidism mainly caused by the less intake of the iodine and also the impairment of the thyroid gland. But this one is the cancerous structures are occur inside of the thyroid gland, or the nodules are developed. That time this will be caused. Clear? Next one is in adults causes the exophthalmic goiter. Before that, simple goiter. In the hypothyroidism time, it is called as a simple goiter is occur. Here, next here it is called as in adults it is causing the exophthalmic goiter. What it is means it is characterized the protruded eyeballs. Means eyeballs are become just upper. They are looking like it is not comes. It's looking like a coming up as a protruded means they projected out. Here, protruded eyeballs are occur in this condition, and also it also affect the physiology of the body. Means all the metabolic activities are mainly controlled by the thyroid glands only. The thyroxine hormone is releasing more means metabolic means basal metabolic rates, BMR, body metabolic rates are basal metabolic rates are increased. The thyroid hormone is really more means the metabolic activities means the digestion, respiration, the circulation, all those things are also increased. Means that is physiology of the body is affected. How it is means they increase the BMR. Clear? This one is about the hyper and very, very important hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Next, we are going to next answer. In this next one is the Addison's and Cushing syndrome. See here, next in this the Addison's disease and the Cushing syndrome. Here, what it is? Addison's disease it is mainly caused by mainly where the defect is there means this is caused by the hyposecretion and hypersecretion of the adrenal cortex releasing hormones. Here, the adrenal cortex is releasing the glucocorticoids. Already I said the kidney, above the kidney, the adrenal gland is there. This adrenal gland is divided into two regions. Outer is called as a cortex region, inner is called as a medulla. The outer region only, that means the cortex region only, they are producing the number of steroid hormones. Here, the steroid hormones. What are the steroid hormones? Means, for example, the three zones are occur. The cortex is divided into three zones. The outer zone is mainly secreting the glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids. Which one? The outer region. Next is the middle one is secreting the mineralocorticoids. And the inner one, the last one, inner one is secreting the sex corticoids. Like this, they are producing the corticoids, means they are the steroid hormones. They are made up of with the cholesterol. That's why we call as a steroid hormones. The synthesized by the cholesterol. Which one? The adrenal cortex hormones all are synthesized by the cholesterol. That's why we call as a steroid hormones. Which steroid hormones means they are the glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and sex corticoids. Here, the special for the Addison's and Cushing syndrome, glucocorticoids are important. The glucocorticoids, the main corticoid is the major is the cortisol. Here, this cortisol is producing less, that is causing the Addison's syndrome. If it is the activity, the cortisol is more, that causing the Cushing syndrome. Means the same like a thyroid, hypo and hyperthyroidism. Here the overact means the hypocortisol is or hypoglucocorticoids are released. The Addison's disease will cause. If it is more, they are called as a Cushing syndrome. Here both of them are in the defect of the glucocorticoids only. What it is, we will discuss it. I'll show. See this one. This is the Addison's disease due to the hyposecretion, less secretion of the glucocorticoids by the adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex is releasing the less amount of glucocorticoids. The Addison's disease will appear. Then what are the symptoms? Means the main lose of weight and the muscle weakness is occur, and the fatigue means the muscle contraction time. The prolonged contraction and prolonged relaxation is occur, and also the reduced the blood pressure is occur, and the darkening skin color, and they can't respond to the stress. Here, that means the Addison's disease is mainly caused by the hyposecretion of the glucocorticoids. Simply here you write it is due to the hyposecretion of the glucocorticoids by the adrenal cortex is called as a simple one. Addison's disease simply hyposecretion of the glucocorticoids are causing the Addison syndrome. Simple symptoms are weight loss, losing weight, and the muscle weakness is occur, and the next reduce the blood pressure. 3 you write it here: the loss of weight or lose the weight, and the muscle weakness, and reduce the blood pressure, darkening of the skin. Here, this one is about the Addison's disease. Next one, opposite. Next is the Cushing syndrome. It is due to the hypersecretion of the glucocorticoids. Hypersecretion is of that they are causing. What the symptoms means? The symptoms are spindle-like arms. The arms and legs is looking like a spindle shape. That's bulges, and they are looking like a bulge. That we call as a spindle-like arms and legs will appear, and the round moon face is occur, and also the hump, this shoulder part is there, that is becomes as a buffalo hump on the back, and also the pendulous, the abdomen is also become front, that is called as a pendulous abdomen, and the poor wound healing is occur, and the hyperglycemia is occur rapidly. Here the samples lose of the weight. Addison syndrome time, lose the weight. The Cushing syndrome time, the rapid gaining of the weight. That is the main symptoms. See this one. Here in the symptoms, spindle-like arms and legs are the important, and the round moon face, and the buffalo hump in the back side, and also they also called as a poor wound healing, and the rapid gain of the weight. Clear? This one is about the Addison's and Cushing. This one is also important. Learn it: hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, and the Addison's and the Cushing syndrome. Clear? Next. With this, we completed almost endocrinology. One more is there. I will take afterwards. Means the last of the ending of the class. I will take that one. Next one is the immune system. Endocrine system SAQs we completed. One is left. I will at the last the ending of the class I will take. Next is the next one is the immune system. In the immune system, the SAQs we are going to discuss. The first one is the B cells. These are the one type of the lymphocytes. Means the our blood is having the RBC, WBC. Then the WBC is one type is called as the lymphocytes. These lymphocytes are formed as a B lymphocytes. The lymphocytes are two types already. You know the B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes are also called as the B cells. Here, next the what it is means they are the lymphocytes. They are produced in the bone marrow. Means all the blood cells are synthesized in the adult stage. In the adult stage, all the blood cells, either RBC, WBC, or the thrombocytes, all are synthesized in the bone marrow. Right? Red bone marrow, they are synthesized. In the fetus stage, they are synthesized in the liver. In the birds, they are synthesized in the bursa fibrosis. Here, from the stem cells, these cells, all the WBC, all the RBC, thrombocytes, synthesized by bone marrow. In the adults, the bone marrow, they are produced. And here the B cells are the lymphocytes. See this one, B cells are lymphocytes capable to producing of the antibodies. B cells are produced by the bone marrow. These B cells are, what is the function of main function of the B cells are B lymphocytes means they are producing the antibodies. Why the antibodies are produced means the any antigens are enter in our body. Antigens means microbes or anything foreign body enter in our body for the response for the giving of the response. Army they will send that we call as the antibodies. The B cells are B lymphocytes capable to producing the antibodies. They capture the circulating antigen. The antigens are two types of antigens are there: circulating antigens and the surface antigens are there. But the circulating antigens are present inside of the circulatory fluids like a blood and lymph. Blood and lymph, these circulatory antigens are present inside of the blood. If the antigens are present, that recognize which one B cells are recognized, immediately they are producing the antibodies. Here, that is the function of the B cells. Next is they are where they are produced. See, already we discussed. They are produced from the bone marrow of adult mammals. Adults, which one? Which is the from the bone marrow the B cells are produced. Next, and from the liver, the fetal stage. In the fetal stage, they are produced from the liver. Next, in the birds, it is produced by the bursa fibrosis. Here, like this, where the B cells are synthesized means B cells are synthesized in the adult stage, bone marrow, in the fetal stage, liver, and in the birds, bursa fibrosis is producing of the B cells. Next, the mature B cells produce various types of antibodies which are carried their plasma membrane. Here, what it is, mature B cells are produce various types of antibodies. They can capable to producing of the antibodies which carried on their plasma membrane. See this one, for example, this one is the B cell. This B cell is having mainly this one is this is having like this. Here, these antibodies are the Y shape. These antibodies are present on the B cells. Like this, any circulating antigens are there that is taken through the plasma membrane. Here, next, as these antibodies can take antigens, these taken the antigens. These are the actually antibody. This B cell is producing this Y shape is the antibodies are there. These antibodies are taken the circulating antigens. Circulating antigens are taken by the antibodies, and the mature and B cells are called as a immunocompetent B cells. Here they are producing from the bone marrow and they enter into the secondary lymphoid organs and form it as a functional immune cells. Here they are present inside of the mature B cells are enter inside of the C. The mature B cells, MBC cells, reach the secondary lymphoid organs, develop into the functional immune cells. Here they are normally MBC means the mature beta cells, B cells present inside of the circulation. They enter inside of the secondary lymphoid organs, means the lymph nodes and the thymus gland. These are called as a secondary lymphoid organs. In the secondary lymphoid organs, which one? These are the MBC, means the mature B cells. Yeah, these mature B cells are goes to the secondary lymphoid organs. Secondary lymphoid organs. Which one? For example, thymus gland is a secondary lymphoid organ. Lymph nodes also they are the secondary lymphoid organ. They enter into the mature B cells or enter into the secondary lymphoid organ. Then they are formed as a functional cells, functional B cells. They are formed as a functional B cells. See this one. The MBC cells reach the secondary lymphoid organs and develop into the functional immune cells or functional B cells are formed. These functional immune cells transform into the long-lived memory cells. These functional cells are divided into two types, two categories. Some B cells are formed as the plasma cells. They are formed as a plasma cells. Some are formed as a memory cells. Memory cells. Here, the beta lymphocytes, the mature B cells are enter inside of the secondary lymphoid organs and form it as a FBC, means functional. The B cells are formed. These functional B cells are differentiated into two cells. The one is called as a plasma cell, another one is called as a memory cells. What is the function of the plasma cell? Means the plasma cells are every time they producing the antibodies against the antigens. Here, but next memory cells, they are storing the information about the entering the antigen. See this one. See, plasma cells, they are long-lived. The cells and effector plasma cells. Here, long-lived memory cells are formed. Long-lived memory cells are formed, and the effector, the plasma cells are there. The plasma cells are, see, plasma cells produce the antibodies specific to antigen. Here, next, what is the function of the memory cells? Memory cells store the information about the specific antigen. They show the quick response when the same antigen attack to the body. For example, any disease, for example, smallpox. Once we get second time, we can't get. Why? Means like this, memory cells are stored in our body. That's why easily they can, second time the attack is there, easily they can detect and producing of the antibodies. Here, this one is about the B cells. B cells are the one type of the lymphocytes. They are producing the major is the B cells are producing the antibodies, and they are capture the antigens, and where they are producing means the bone marrow of the adult mammals, and in the fetus liver of in the fetus that is produced by the liver, in the birds produced by the bursa fabricis. The mature B cells are various types, producing the various types of antibodies. They are carrying to the plasma membrane, and the antibodies are, what is the function? And these antibodies are attack the antigens, and the mature B cells are enter into the, when the stem cells are formed as a mature B cells. Mature B cells enter inside of the secondary lymphoid organs, and they get the functional, that we call as a functional B cells. These functional B cells are Next, form it as a plasma cells and the memory cells. Plasma cells are for the producing of the antibodies. Memory cells, they are storing the memory, means they are storing information about the antigen. Here, this one is about the B cells. Next, one more, the inside of this only, the one more BSAQ we discussed, the time is there, that's why one more BSC. The diabetes mellitus we discussed now. The next, this one is the differentiate between the diabetes mellitus and the diabetes insipidus. Now, one more important is there, that is called as a insulin shock. Otherwise, I am writing. This is important for the VSAQ. The here then what is insulin hyposecretion of the insulin is causing the diabetes mellitus. Here means the inside of the pancreas, the which cells are producing this one, beta cells. The inside of the pancreas, islets of Langerhans is there, that is having the beta cells are present. That beta cells are mainly producing the hormone that is called the insulin. This insulin hormone, it's mainly what is the function of the insulin hormone means the inside of the blood, in the glucose is more, that is converted into glycogen. That is converted into glycogen and stored inside of the liver in the presence of insulin hormone. Insulin hormone is not there means automatically what will happen? Glucose is not converted into glycogen. That's why glucose present inside of the blood that eliminates through the urine. That condition is called as the diabetes mellitus. Now we discuss about the insulin shock. Means the excess of the insulin is caused. Means the more insulin is released in the pancreas, what will happen means the more the glycogen is formed, the glucose ratio is less. Here, glucose less in blood. It causes the insulin shock. Here, this one is the opposite to the insulin shock is the opposite to the diabetes mellitus. Here, we discussed the differences between the diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. Next, VSA gives the insulin shock. Next, one more is there that we are going to discuss, that is the erythropoietin. Erythropoietin hormone. Erythropoietin hormone. This erythropoietin hormone is mainly secreted by the JG cells, means JGC cells, means the juxtaglomerular cells. Where they are present means inside of the kidney, nephrons. Here, nephrons, you know that one, nephron is the like this Malpighian tubule is present, and this is having the PCT and the nephron, the Henle's loop is present. Next, it is the DCT is present, where the efferent arteriole and the DCT is joining the blood vessel. This one is efferent, the efferent, not efferent. Efferent arteriole, DCT, where they are connected, that place we call as a JGA apparatus. That we call as a JG apparatus. Means in this only the cells are there, that we call as a JG cells. These cells are producing the erythropoietin hormone. Erythropoietin hormone is produced inside of the kidney, the nephron near the JG apparatus. The JG cells are producing the erythropoietin hormone. What is the function of this one means every time the RBC is production is by occur in the presence of the erythropoid. It increases the production of RBC. Increase the synthesize and production of RBC in bone marrow. Production of RBC in bone marrow. Here, this one is about the erythropoietin hormone. With this, we complete the class. The next tomorrow, same time, we will discuss in the more SAQs in this lesson only, the immune system only, the 2, 3, the more SAQs are there. We will discuss in the tomorrow's class.